Let's see what we've got going here. Let's see what I guess I'm live. I don't know. Am I? I can't tell with this new construct. Oh, okay. Now here we go. I'm online live. And I'm talking today like your great aunt Berta. And I'm talking about authority because authority appears to be the problem. Authority is the problem. People are not following authorities as they are set out. They're following the authority in their head, or the authority on the TV, or the authority in a book, or the authority they make up. They're doing all kinds of stuff. All right. And there have been studies about authority, lots of them. There's the authority of whoever coded DNA and whoever arranged the original ecosystems. There's the authority of nature. Let's stick that up at the top of the pile. And then there's the authority of the hierarchy that falls out from the scientists who derived DNA code in nature. Okay. And the hierarchy that falls out from nature depends on where you are in the universe. There's a hierarchy everywhere, and that is substantiated by the Urantia book, the Bible, Sumerian cuneiform tablets, the OSPI, okay? And we in our lives see every day a hierarchy of authority. In the studies of Abraham Maslow and the studies of Clare Graves, there are about 8 levels of authority, and that doesn't count God, okay? The authority of nature isn't figured in to either Abraham Maslow or Clare Graves. Now, in my pictures, images down below, I've given you almost a whole album of graphics that discuss authority from one perspective to another, all right? And the first one lays out the 8 physical, actually, it also includes the 5th dimensional cosmic authority in there. That's image number 2. But starting from image number 3, these are perspectives how authority operates. All right. And so we take a look at authority, and we begin with the cosmic God, and then we get into DNA physics. Biology has its own authority. And then there's law, power in law. There's power by rules. There's imperial power by conquest. There's power by policy, by procedure, by practice, and by default. And power by default is the focus I want to give to this discussion, because power by default is what we who are libertarians, okay, and conservatives call freedom, is power by default. Freedom is the personal power that enables us to dismiss all the other forms of power and to say that my physical will is going to be exercised in accord with my spirit and my heart and my will, and the rest of you can go to hell. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Although we claim that freedom is what we have or what we don't have or what we want, the only beings who are absolutely free from all of the levels of power mongering, okay, are people or animals whom we call feral. They're feral. They are free. They can be ferocious. They may be animals. They may brutalize as their method. They are oblivious of the various layers of power. Their usual response is either to fight or flight, rage or flee. Their ethic is savage. They are uncultured and undomesticated and untamed and wild. And if you're going to do anything with them, an authority has to regiment them. That's why soldiers are regimented, so that their initiatives that they are able to take are regimented and controlled by someone else. Okay? That's freedom. That's being a wild animal. But anything else is only relative freedom, which is also called liberty. Liberty is when the sailors are allowed to get off the ship and go on shore and get drunk for 2 days. Okay, that's liberty. Liberty includes the quote so-called rights and privileges that each governing jurisdiction deems appropriate for its society. Right now, our liberties have been severely truncated. And there are reasons why that has occurred. Reasons. And the hierarchy is in control of the reasons because they are also in control of the information, whether we know the reasons or not. Okay, got that? And the fact is, we don't know the reasons, okay? Because what's coming at us from the mainstream media and the alternative media and the professionals who are confronting Dr. Fauci with the fact that he has benefited and profited not only from the development of vaccines, but also from the development of the diseases themselves. Okay, that's something to confront the man about. All right, the reasons. And we do not know how many causes of exosomes in our bloodstream or in our saliva or in our being. We do not know all the causes of exosomes. Exosomes are merely failed cells. They are not necessarily from any particular virus or even any particular cause. Exosomes can exist because we are dehydrated by 5G, dehydrated by glyphosate in the food we eat, dehydrated because of the proximity to radiation, microwaves, okay, and also due to any virus or any cold or any flu. That's what exosomes are. They're no indication of immunity. And of course, the problem with COVID-19 is that it does not convey any evidence of immunity. And that's why it's dangerous. And that's why it's being dealt with as a dangerous virus. Okay, so you've got to understand the first thing is you don't know what you don't know. And what you do know is subject to contradiction. And what you know, is your own experience. And this is getting complicated. All right. And so I can't tell anybody what to do because I don't know anybody's situation and I do not know the level of authority that anyone accepts insofar as their own self-governance goes. And I'm just reminding you that it is 100 times more complicated than we are being told by anybody. All right. So who do you want to believe? Well, in my case, because I'm an old fart in the first place, okay, I'm going to have to go with believing that the prime creator, the initiator, the ones who wrote the original DNA code have an interest in the fact that scientists are messing with and jerking around with the DNA code. All right. It seems to me, if there's a God, he has an interest in that enterprise. Now, governments, whether you're talking about globalist orientation or nationalist orientation or regional orientation or state orientation or locality, okay, have their various takes on what's fact and what's necessary. Can you see how complicated this has become? And that's why, being an old fart, when things are so complicated beyond my ability, even though I'm stretching out to listen to everybody to really make sense of it, I have to go within and I have to listen to my soul. What is my soul's place in this hierarchy of governmental authority that leads all the way up to karma, biology, and the mind of God? And I say, this is not a simple situation that we can presume anything. We can't presume anything. And so we'll have to follow the truth, the line of truth. If you're following Dr. Judy Mikovits, if you're following George Webb, if you're following the people who are following the disease crumbs, we're being deceived and jerked around again some more. And so my advice or counsel to anybody is, when people jerk you around, you have to confront the fact that they're jerking you around, and you have to tell them you don't like being jerked around. And that is the limit that I can go to advise anybody that being complacent and being avoidant and not paying attention to what's going on is not the path to knowing what initiatives you and I can take to save our future from a bad future. Okay? I'm just a grandma. Okay, I'm nobody special. But I wanted to share with you my work in stacking up the different authorities and what they presume to have authority over, and what I actually accept as an authority that's true to reality. And I hope that this little video gives you an insight into how challenging this is. It really is. So anyway, we'll see you guys later. I hope you have fun looking at the pictures down below. Bye-bye.